All right. Next up, if you're an Android user and you use Netflix and you've tried to download a show to watch, but it didn't quite finish, and you're wondering, okay, but why couldn't I go ahead and watch the rest of, watch what's available until I can download it? Fear no more. Even partially downloaded files can now be streamed up until the point at which the file would go, quote unquote, not work or not have enough data to complete the show. So I remember multiple times trying to like download something real quick before I have to turn on airplane mode and before taking on a flight and getting just part of it and being like, gosh, I know it'd be like 99% and didn't finish. This is what this new fix for Android users is going to do. So really cool news for the Android users on Netflix. All right. So this next piece, if you're a Clubhouse user, and actually, I apologize. The segment we're in right now is Check the Tech. I got going and didn't say, yeah, check the tech. If you are a Clubhouse user like myself, as cool as that app is and the exclusivity that happened there to at least make the initial conversations in those spaces very intimate and or I don't want to keep saying the word exclusive, but the moderation that was happening there by not having a floodgates of people come in all at once was very powerful. But we also, if you're being practical, you knew that function could be easily added to Discord's already added chat rooms, new chat room functions to it. Twitter's added it, and now Facebook has launched their version of that as well. So, yeah, it'd be very similar to Clubhouse or Twitter Spaces. The conversation stream live in the app, and your room host can invite others up to speak with them. And Facebook is taking this very seriously in that it's going to be conversations will be at the top of your news feed above stories. So even the stories Instagram function that they brought over, this is going to be front and center on your Facebook news feed. It also comes from really creator-friendly focused features like the ability to buy stars. So if you're used to buying stars for creators when they're doing streams on games and stuff like that, be very similar, along with doing in-app gifts that can help influencers make money from their streams. So if you want to be more audio podcast focused on this Clubhouse clone for Facebook, you definitely could be. I think that open up a lot of options for folks that are not necessarily gamers or don't necessarily music stream and things like that. All right. Unfortunately, Facebook will rely on automation and user reports to enforce its content rules with the new functions. And if you've ever been moderated by Facebook AI, you know that is a very hit or miss system. Has it gotten better over the years? Yes, but it can still be very prejudiced against certain keywords. So I would not be surprised if the rollout of this is no better than the current ways people get blocked on Facebook. So yeah, excited. Now I will say, because Clubhouse has had issues moderating itself as well. So this is not saying like Clubhouse came in and fixed things that Facebook was doing wrong. Clubhouse has moderation problems. I do like some of these things that room hosts can control who speaks. So again, that's a very Clubhouse thing already, but Facebook's made sure they have that from the get-go. Any Facebook user can listen into a conversation or participate if the host invites them to speak. Again, very much like in Clubhouse as well. And the other piece is that Facebook's going to be taking in the same way that Clubhouse was invite only, Facebook will be taking a kind of a slow start to it, and only verified public figures and creators in the U.S. with accounts in good standing. Now we don't know what good standing actually means in this context, so yeah, we'll see what that ends up meaning. But it won't be an open floodgate for folks to create rooms, although anyone will be able to jump in and listen to your room. And so I said Clubhouse, but I also talked about podcasts. So in addition to rooms, Facebook is beginning to add podcasts to its platform. You'll be able to listen to the episodes while you browse your Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, the podcast can be up and playing in the same way that like some of the video autoplay and like the mini player. It'll be just like that, except it'll be integrated. Which is funny. Does anyone remember the MySpace audio player? You could listen to like what someone was playing on their page. It feels like that, except podcast, but it'll follow you along the site. And it'll be going with a small group of names to start out. Joe Budden, Natalia Matthews Okome to get started. There'll probably some more on that, but I'll hunt those down later. So yeah, I'm not incredibly excited about it because Facebook is pretty I think that's all I need. I just look at my face. That's how I feel about it. If you've interacted with people on Facebook overall, then you know why I'm a little hesitant about them adding this function. It does make sense. Clubhouse's feature was never going to be something that was going to be Clubhouse exclusive for long. It was just going to be a matter of getting the right team in on another social media platform and adding that function. So it was just never going to be something that was going to be solely a Clubhouse thing. But I think the environment they've tried to craft on there was very conducive to what they were trying to do. I don't know if copy pasting it to every social media platform is the right look, but hey, we will see. All right. What do we have? There's supposed to be a photo of that, but it's all right. Here we go. If you want to put your pronoun options on Zoom, they've now made that a lot easier. So what a lot of users would be doing on Zoom is they would just change their username and put they, them, he, her, he, him, her, she, her in brackets and like an ellipses on in your profile name. But if anyone locked down the naming options on your profile, whenever you came into their particular Zoom session, it would make that a little bit difficult. So let me read off some of the press release. The latest addition to the list in Zoom, which has just unveiled the pronouns feature for version 5.7 of the video conferencing platform. And then, again, like until now, it talks about users have had to manually edit their display either during a live meeting or via the profile to show the pronouns. But again, organizations could stop members from editing their display names altogether, and not necessarily an attack toward their pronouns, but just more of like we didn't want people naming themselves a bunch of different things in this session. So it wasn't necessarily nefarious. It was just more of like no, we've locked that function down for everybody. So now this new method will allow you to adjust your pronouns and it'd be displayed, but in a separate space than your actual display name. And it'd be a dedicated text field on your profile page, which you can edit. You can also have the option to automatically share your pronouns at every meeting or have Zoom ask you before every session, which may be important if you're in a particular workspace environment where you're not comfortable sharing that, or any kind of social interaction where you may not be comfortable sharing that. You'll have the option to toggle that every single time. And again, Zoom will remind you before you go into each session whether that's something that you want to display. I think the text field is one thing. That notification is big. That should not be cannot understate that, or I can't overstate that enough. That is huge and will help a lot of people just remembering, so you don't accidentally have it up if you go into something that you're not necessarily want to be out in that way, or if there's hostile workspaces as well, and if that's not a fight that you want to wage in that workspace and you don't want to put your pronouns out there, I think having that option, not just the text field, but that opt to like display toggle on and off is huge. So let me know what you think in the comments, and remember, if you're on Facebook or Twitch, I can talk to you on both ways. So definitely thanks for a nice cup of tea, and Taryn that have been watching. No, Taryn jumped off for a bit. But let me know what you think, and I like that. I like that a lot. I think that's a really big deal. All right, we've got one last news segment. Maybe. There we go. All right. So, Univision, which is the largest Spanish language television network, will be debuting a Spanish language streaming service next year. Deadline reported that the media giant will launch a worldwide streaming service in the U.S. and Latin America sometime next year, and it will include a free ad-supported tier. So again, if you've already been using Univision's Prende TV, and subscribers also get the best from the likes of Univision Now and ViX. This report from Engadget also gives a little, they make a very astute observation. It says the network also took a not so subtle jab at Netflix, which would soon be their rival once you get into streaming. And again, Netflix is also well known for having different Spanish language shows, and some of them that they also co-produce together. And it says the upcoming offering will have more Spanish-based original productions than any other streaming service. Now, while Netflix is the only one singled out in that, when you could say all the other streaming platforms as well, again, I think it's because of that connection between things they've made together. And another, like, not a dig, but a nice little coup from Univision. that it just hired Netflix's content vice president, Rodrigo Mazin, as their executive VP for its on-demand streaming. So they're definitely going to be taking some Netflix ideas that made it Netflix so well received with the Latinx community, and applying that to the Univision streaming service. So yeah, I think that's a fantastic hire. I think that's super smart. Yeah. So yeah, it's good. It's good. I still think we're getting too many streaming services. Me and Tom have talked about a streaming bubble for a while. We ain't got to get into all that right now, but this is just another sign of like the field is packed. It's getting more and more packed, and I don't know if it's going to get better, but we shall see. Now, I think for Univision, it's kind of like a no-brainer. Their subscriber base already on their network, and then the different things they've already done and co-produced with Netflix, for them it just makes a ton of sense. But this market is just so fractured that people can't buy every streaming service. So I just don't know. Nice Cup of Tea says, bundle it all immediately, please and thank you. Yeah. But then there's, I feel like someone needs to come through and create some deals where, because you already get some, like I don't pay for my HBO Max because I have AT&T internet and cell phone, so they cover the HBO Max. I think what I actually pay for is Disney Plus, and because I get Disney Plus, it gives me a discount on my Hulu. So I've got that, and yeah, what I actually pay for is Disney Plus, some of Hulu, and Netflix. I'm trying to think, is there any? I guess technically Paramount Plus, but we get so many screeners for that for the Star Trek stuff that I don't really pay for Paramount Plus. Trying to think, am I missing? I feel like maybe there's an anime subscription service that I forgot. It could definitely be something I'm forgetting. And he said it's very hard with all the smaller content creators for certain, but having 1,000 tiny streaming services is not my favorite. Yeah, and I do want to be clear. I like the options. I like that I can pick and choose what I want to watch, but there's so many things getting snatched from other creators getting back under their original studios that I don't think people have thought through what that actually means for viewers. So everyone's kind of carved out their niche of this group of people is going to watch our stuff and this group of people is going to watch our stuff. But that's not how streaming worked when Netflix started. Netflix was the only game in town. Everyone put their stuff on Netflix, so people watched Netflix because Netflix had, and they started. And very early on, they started pushing out the originals like the House of Cards. Later on, Stranger Things would be the next big hit. Narcos, Genghis Khan, not Genghis Khan, but Marco Polo. But yeah, I'm probably missing a bunch in there. And it's like, yeah, NBC took Office off of Netflix and they put it on Peacock. And a lot of people were probably going to pay for Peacock to watch The Office. Like, I get it. But after that, what? You're going to put Friends, Living Single, Mad About You. Like, you're going to put all those on at Frasier. And you're going to, like, what? Am I going to pay $4 to $10 just for that? I'm not doing that I like The Office, but I'm not. It'd be cheaper for me to just buy the DVDs if I loved it that much. Actually, yes. Don't pay for Peacock. Just go buy the DVDs of The Office and then go save that money for somewhere else. Okay? I just did y'all a favor. Just did you a big favor. I know NBC, if you're watching, I'm sorry. That just makes practical money sense for families. It just, no. If anyone likes The Office that much, what are you doing? That makes zero sense. Yes, I also realize some of the things on Peacock are free so that you can, I get that. I get it. But it's free to get you in there to pay this monthly subscription. So I don't, I'm not saying a poison pill. It's a sugary pill get you addicted to caffeine and sugar. So your point on bundling, I think that's going to happen eventually. Everyone's not going to be able to continue getting new subscribers. we can't just keep pumping out more new content either, because the landscape was just so saturated with more and more shows. Like, I mean, Netflix just came out with was it Jupiter's Drop, Jupiter's Cheer, Jupiter's Legacy, Jupiter Ascending. I don't remember what it was called. And I didn't even remember the thing happened. It was another superhero show. Everyone was raving about Invincible on Amazon Prime when Amazon Prime already has The Boys, and so you just did a gruesome. I know I've read this comics. It's fantastic. I actually really love Invincible, but there's like superhero burnout happening. You got bunch of Marvel shows, which I was already worried about having to try to keep up with all those just to then eventually watch the movies. And to Disney Plus's credit, they kept them short, so you're not watching 13, 20 episode seasons to try to keep up with the movies. I get that, but this is a lot. And actually, let me take down the Univision screens if people aren't thinking like, you're blaming Univision. Like, no, I'm blaming this is dumb. This is gonna, I feel like there's a bubble, bubbling, and like I suspect Netflix will survive. Disney is printing money out the wazoos. I think they'll be fine. Hulu is technically a conglomerate of the different networks, so Hulu to me makes the most sense of putting different shows on it temporarily, just like you did when Netflix or when Hulu started. But these other ones, Paramount Plus, no, you should not exist. Peacock, you should not exist. I'm sorry. And I know there's people that have jobs at those places. I'm sorry, this is not a dig on you, but the person that hired you to make this network is just not, no, stop it. Just stop it. Okay? Just quit it. All right. Yeah, we'll talk about that more another time. Or I'll dig into that deeper another time.